Okay, good morning, student. Yesterday we did how the narrator was feeling. His nostril was blocked. He was not able to sleep. And then Seetan took him to a Dachin Medical College where the doctor had given him medicine. And taking that medicine, he felt relief and he was feeling better. Now, Seetan, when he saw the narrator is well, he left him. And now what happened? He describing about Dachin that Dachin is also not a good place, a beautiful place because the people who go for a Mansarovar Yatra, they just dump their garbage here. The town had a couple of rudimentary general store. Rudimentary means old, selling Chinese cigarettes, soap, and other basic provision means thing, as well as the usual strings of fire prayer flags, which you have seen people generally they put it on at the back of their car or on their bike. In front of one man gathered in afternoon of game of pool. The battered means the table not in good condition, looking supremely incongruous in the open air, while nearby women washed their long hair in the icy water of a narrow brook that babbled down coming down past my guest house. Dachin felt relaxed and unhurried, but for me it came with a significant drawback. There was no pilgrims. So people, there was an activities going on. There were shops were there. People, the men, they were enjoying the pool game. Clear. The women, they were washing their hair in the icy cold water. But one thing which made the narrator sad was that he could not see any pilgrims, the people who are going for Mansarovar Yatra. I had told them at the height of pilgrimage season, I had been told that at the height of pilgrimage season, the town was bustling with visitors. So when he talked to the people, he came to know that it was not a season. During the time of pilgrimage season, the whole town is filled or bustled with the visitor. Many brought their own accommodation, enlarging the settlement round its edges as they set up their tent. They spilled down on a plain. I would timed my arrival for the beginning of season, but it seemed I was too early. So people had also informed this narrator that most of the time the people who are coming for Kora, they bring their own tent, food and accommodation. And then this narrator has thought that he had come early because till now the season of pilgrimage has not come. One afternoon, I sat pondering, thinking my option over a glass of tea in Dachin's only cafe. After a little consideration, I concluded they were similarly limited. Clearly, I hadn't made much progress with my self-help program on positive thinking. In my defense, it hadn't been easy with all my sleeping difficulty, but however I looked at it, I could only wait. He has to wait till the pilgrimage season start, or if he find any person with whom he could go for Kora. The pilgrimage trail was well trodden, but I didn't fancy doing it alone. See, the area, the road which was going to Mansarovar, it was a used one. One could see that maximum people have used that road, but this narrator was not finding it courage to travel alone. He was waiting for a companion. The Kora was seasonal because part of the route were liable to blockage by snow. Yes, if you see Badrinath, Kedarnath, if you see Amarnath, these all are seasonal. Why? Because after some time, after some months, these areas are blocked by snow. They become inaccessible during winter time. I had no idea whether or not the snow had cleared, but I wasn't encouraged by a chunk of dirty ice that still clung to the bank of Dachin Brook. Since Ethan had left, I hadn't come across anyone in Dachin with enough English to answer even the most basic question. So here the narrator was also finding a language problem. Seaton was there, so narrator was able to do the conversation with him, but now he was all alone. Until that is, I met Norbu. So one day he met a Norbu. The cafe was small, dark, and cavernous. with a long metal stove that ran down the middle. The walls and ceilings were wreathed, covered in a sheet of multicolored plastic of the strip variety, broad blue, red, and white, that is made into stout, voluminous, misused shopping bags sold all over China and in many other countries of Asia as well as Europe. Means there was such kind of plastic sheet that was put it as a roof or a shelter on the cap of the cafe. And he has seen those kind of plastic which were used in many Asian and European country for a shopping bag. As such, plastic must rate as one of the China's most successful export along the Silk Road today. The cafe had a single window beside which I had taken up position so that I could see the pages of my notebook. I had also brought a novel with me to help pass the time. So he was writing everything in the notebook about his journey to Mansarovar Yatra. He was also carrying a novel which could help him to pass his time. Norbu saw my book when he came in and asked with a gesture if he could sit opposite me at my rickety table. Rickety means old and broken. You English? He inquired after he had ordered tea. I told him I was. Yes, I could speak English. And then we started a conversation. It means Norbu, he knew English. I didn't think he was from those parts because he was wearing a wind cheater and a metal rimmed spectacle of Western style. So, narrator thought that Norbu might not be a Tibetan or a local Tibetan because he was wearing a wind cheater instead of a sheepskin coat. And also, he was wearing a spectacles which the Western people wear it, or which is of modern style. He was Tibetan, he told me, but worked in Beijing at the Chinese Academy of Social Science in the Institute of Ethnic Literature. I assume he was on some sort of field work. Yes and no, he said. I have come to do Kora. Norbu said, no, I have just come here to do Kora. When the narrator heard the word Kora, he was very happy. Norbu had been writing academic paper about the Kailash Kora and its importance in various work of Buddhist literature for many years. He told me, but he had never actually done it himself. So Norbu is saying he has written about Kora and also he has read many books about the Kora, but actually he had never taken Kora, underwent Kora, that he had never visited Mount Kailash. When the time came for me to tell him what brought me here to Dachen, his eyes lit up. We could be a team, he said excitedly. Two academics who have escaped from the library. Perhaps my positive thinking strategy was working after all. So Norbu, when he came to know that this narrator has also come to do Kora, so both of them felt happy that now they have a company to do Kora. My initial relief at meeting Norbu, who was also staying in guest house, was tempered by the realization that he was almost as ill-equipped as I was for pilgrimage. So, in the beginning, the narrator was very happy that at least he has got a companion with whom he could do Kora. And this Norbu has read many things about Mount Kailash. But when he came to know that Norbu was not having any practical knowledge regarding Kora, he felt sad. He kept telling me how fat he was and how hard it's going to be. Very high up. He kept reminding me, so tiresome to walk. He wasn't really a practicing Buddhist. It transpired, but he had enthusiasm and he, of course, a Tibetan. Every time, Norbu was not, what you can say, encouraging the author or the narrator. He was every time pointing at the narrator that you are fat, how you are going to climb the height, how you will be able to do the Kora. So narrator thought that he is not a practicing Buddhist because practicing Buddhi will never make you feel low. A practicing Buddhi will or Buddhist will always make you to think high, never to give up. Although I had originally emphasized making a trek in the company of devout believers, on reflection I decided that perhaps Norbu would turn out to be an ideal companion. He suggested we hire some yaks. Yaks means an animals to carry a luggage, which I interpreted as a good sign. And he had no intention of prostituting himself all around the mountain. He said, no, He is not going to take a round of the mountain, which is compulsory, which is known as Kora. In Hindi, we call it Parikrama. Norbu is saying he is not interested. Not possible, he cried, collapsing across a table in a hysterical laughter. It wasn't his style in any way. His tummy was too big also. Even Norbu was fat also. And he said he's not going to take a round of that mountain Kailash, which is very important for doing Kora. I hope the chapter is clear to you.